from Southern Maryland's weather leader. This is a JB Weather Alert.
Hey, and good evening, everyone. I'm Forecaster John Bordash, still with you here in the storm center this evening, continuing to track everything we have going on with our winter storm that's trying its best to move in. And radar now shows that we have a little area of precip developing over our region. Look at that. Forecasted to start time between 9 and 12, and some of you are indeed seeing that. So, what we've been dealing with, if we can take a wider view here of radar, what you'll be able to see is that areas to the north and west seeing a heavy amount of snow. And if you can look closely, this little 1.5 up here, that's my report here in central Pennsylvania where I'm at. So the majority of the precip has been to our north and west as our initial area of low pressure brings precip to that area. We're largely waiting on that coastal low to start developing, and we're beginning to see that across our region. And as that is beginning to happen here right off the coastline, we're beginning to see precipitation break out across the lower portions of the Delmarva, Tidewater, Virginia, and here in Southern Maryland. I had initial concerns about dry air, and I do still have some concerns about dry air at the moment. That's why I don't think we'll see a widespread snow in our region, probably until about closer to midnight. I think we still have another hour, maybe two for some of you before we really tap in on that. And then we can see that, I mean, our current temperature in Leonardtown is currently sitting at 37 degrees. If we were to take a look at the dew point, which is a measure of moisture in the atmosphere, that's sitting at 23 degrees. You would like those two numbers to be much closer together. The dew point can never go over the temperature, and so you would want that to be closer to, like, let's say 37:30 or 37:35 to really start getting a good sense of that we have a moist atmosphere. However, what we are seeing is that as this little band of precipitation has developed, it has helped to moisten up the atmosphere, and that little zone is helping to drop temperatures just a little bit. And as a result, we have seen an area of snow and sleet develop across southern St. Mary's County, and it's actually now started to move a little bit further to the north than it has been to the east. But we are watching this develop. I don't think everyone in this zone is seeing snow and sleet, and maybe you are, and if you are, please let me know. And if you're not, let me know that too, so I have a good idea of what's going on. And yeah, see, Stephanie says something messy is falling in Huntingtown. Yeah, so yeah, we'll see. I mean, is this a huge event? No, but this is just a general idea of what we're looking at across the area. I'm not changing the snowfall forecast per se. I'm still largely sticking with this. This was the final call that I had issued earlier today. Granted, I do think we will be on the lower side of these ranges. I see Leslie saying nothing yet in California, just a little bit of rain in Lexington Park. La Plata and nothing yet. We had flurries in Lexington Park, but I checked 20 minutes ago. Mom sees snow in Golden Beach, Northern Mechanicsville, sleeting in Lesby, light mix in California. Yeah, so I mean, if we come back here to radar quick, you can generally see, actually, I think to make things really look good, we'll bring up our sensitive radar if this wants to come on over. Let's just put this into motion. You can see kind of how this has developed. So it's generally been moving north. Temperatures, again, not overly cold. And you can just kind of see how it's going. This is, again, one of our higher res products here. And you can really see I wouldn't trust the precipitation typing per se with this, but just generally an area of snow and sleet across the region, but more substantial snows out to the west. If we were to turn off the precipitation typing, and this makes everything look like rain, but it helps us see where we're looking at more snow. I mean, right now we have a decent band right over the Frederick to York area in Pennsylvania, but in our region, our precip is rather light. I mean, but what is interesting, actually, if I can bring it on over here, is as we're looking at these zones to the north and west seeing the heaviest snow, let me turn off some of the radar products, we've actually seen some areas upgraded to winter storm warnings. These pink areas here, and we can turn up the temperatures quick too. These areas here shaded in pink now all represent winter storm warnings. So if you have any interest in south central Pennsylvania or western Maryland or even South Jersey, on over here towards southeastern Mass, on over through Rhode Island, parts of Connecticut, winter storm warnings. We're still sitting with the winter weather advisory here locally. And again, that's for a general, 1 to maybe 3 inches. Admittedly, we're likely going to be on the lower sides of these totals. Our afternoon model guidance looked a little something like this for the Pax River location and then Andrews Air Force Base. So it gives you a good idea of a northern part of southern Maryland and then a southern part of southern Maryland. And largely all of them are showing an inch to maybe 3, which is technically within my range, but likely just maybe a little bit lower than what we could have been seeing. If I had to redraw a map right now, and again, this is just rough, and we won't say that this is my final call, but just realistically, we're probably looking at something like, out here you're seeing 5 to 8 inches right through here, right? You're looking at a zone of about 3 to 5. We'll say it comes right out through here. I do think that there's a tight cutoff, and I'm probably I'm too ambitious with our southern zone there. But again, this is likely a 3 to 5, and then you're talking like a 1 to 3 through much of this zone, and then you're looking at another zone of 3 to 5 with maybe a localized area of a little bit more, right? So generally, that's kind of what I would think right now. We'll see though. I do think, and we said that this was 1 to 3. I think that's a good forecast with mainly just rain down here. Maybe you get a little bit of mix. And then you're talking less than an inch up here. But that's just a general idea. It's a messy map. And honestly, this is the way most of my forecasts start, right? I just take a blank map and I just kind of freehand it a little bit. What makes sense? And then we kind of account for it. You got mountains out here and, you got different stuff. But we're going to roll with this though as we push on through, and then again those winds pick up as we head into tomorrow, and this would be a look at that updated storm timeline. We said maybe a little bit of rain starting after 9. We're sitting around 11. We're seeing that, and we might look to see some snow to develop after midnight, which could be moderate at times, but it's all out of here. And as she says now, lots of sleet south of Lexington Park, snow flurries in Prince Frederick, nothing just yet in the Plata though. And as I take a look back over at our radar, let me bring that back up. Yeah, I mean right now, we're seeing this little zone. I'm gonna let this render, and it's gonna look really finicky for a cycle or two. My apologies for that, but you see, it's the little snow blob that could. But that's not our main area. Our main area we're really watching right now is when does this line eventually get closer to our region, and you see it is slowly doing so. This is all coming as we're seeing our coastal low start to get its act together. I want to see if we can't just get our ISO bars loaded up here, show us what we're looking at. Yeah, so lots of different line colors here right now. Generally, and I think I need to come over here so you can see me do this. Our dying area of low pressure is right around here. It's bringing snow to the north of it, but it's dying off. It's going to relocate. And you can see a little circle here northwest of Virginia Beach. This is where a new baby low is trying to get going. And you can actually, and that would make sense for that placement right there if we really zoom in here. So this is the initial low out here dying, that circle. That's what that ISO bar tells me. That's our initial low, and it's dying. And then this is the birth of a brand new baby low. Happy birthday. And as it develops, what it's doing is just ever so slightly, it's bringing in a weak moisture fetch off of the ocean and off the bay, which is then allowing for this area of precip to develop right through here. So this would be the precip associated with our coastal low that's developing. The precip with that's all out here, that is all with this low, right? The other precip is with our little baby low that's getting its act together and trying to find its its sea legs. And that's, and what and I keep saying, I guess you wouldn't know. And what we're going to see with this little baby low, right? It's right here. It's going to move up generally kind of like that, which will really focus, some of those heaviest snows right in through this region. Where with the initial low that was right here, we're looking at the heaviest snows really in this region. So we're kind of caught in between two of them right now, which was expected. We thought this was going to happen. That's why we're seeing lower snow totals across our region. Yeah, and Vera is saying it's snowing in California. Weird question. Do coastal lows always rotate counterclockwise? Yes, lows, areas of low pressure in the northern hemisphere rotate, the air rotates counterclockwise around them. So when we get areas of low pressure, right, we see winds go this way. And when you get areas of high pressure, winds rotate clockwise around them. Or am I getting that mixed up? Nevertheless, it's a little late for me to be going over this. And was that a trick question? I need to look this up. Where is... Let's just come back here while I regather my thoughts. So yeah, that's generally what we're looking at. Yeah, counterclockwise. Okay, I needed to double check that. I got nervous because then I was like thinking. I started over. It's that thing when like you're doing a test and you're like, oh, what's going on? Yes, counterclockwise. Yeah. But yes, they do rotate. The winds are around them, and then in the southern hemisphere, it's the exact opposite. And that's just the way the winds work around the globe. So that's what we're looking at right now. Nothing too crazy, just a little bit of snow developing right now. Though, is the world coming to an end? No. We will make it through this. But typically when we start to see snow develop, people freak out a little bit, so we just got to address it first. So that's about it for me right now. We'll redo one of these here probably in an hour and a half, and we'll see what's going on. We'll continue to see snow develop, I think, across the region. So stay tuned. JB Weather, Facebook, Twitter, Instagram. You've seen all my links rotating there on the sidebar. And we will continue to see how this develops. In the meantime, I'm Forecaster John Bordash. Thank you so much. Have a nice and safe one, and keep it tuned right here to JB Weather.
Check the forecast anytime online at jbweather.net.